Yo, yo, Z-Dougie here, and today we're going to be writing a drop from Scratch Serum patch. So let's get into it. So we've got a basic little drum pattern here. I've got a kick, a hi-hat, and a snare, and it sounds like this. This is the sound we're going to be making. So it's super customizable and it's in a pack all on my Patreon. I'll talk about that later, but it's a crazy one. So we're going to be making this from scratch, and so we will just initialize this preset and we'll start writing a drop, or we'll write the patch and then we'll write a drop. So basic saw wave, we're going to go down 2 octaves. We're also going to turn on oscillator B, and we're going to change this one to a sine wave, down 2 octaves. We're going to change this one to spectral wavetable phase verb. And now that's what it sounds like now. We'll go up on this wavetable. I usually do it a little bit under halfway, but we're going to play around with it with some automation. Something like that. And now we're going to do FM from B on oscillator A. So something like that. And now from here, we're going to turn on this filter. And we're going to use this LFO down here. We're putting the LFO on the level for each oscillator. We'll pull those down, put it all the way up. And then we're going to do the same for the filter cutoff. Now you'll have to click Shift, Alt, and then click it. And now it only goes one way. We'll make sure that it's doing B as well. And then we'll pull this down. We're going to turn the drive up, and we're going to turn this resonance up a little bit. And so now, something like that, but we're not doing a wub, we're doing a sustain for this sound. And so what we're going to do is pull this back here. We're going to put a point and drag it all the way out. Now you're going to right click on this point and then put a loop back point here. And so, turn it to envelope, and now that loop back point is there. So with that on, it'll do this ramp up on everything you have it routed to, and then it'll loop back from the sustain point. So that's how you get that little bit of a wah, like right at the front of the sound, just to exaggerate it. Something like that is good. Now we're going to go into the effects, and we're going to turn on distortion. And we can put this on here, something like that. Maybe pull it back a little bit. Or if we don't want to wait on it, we can just turn it all the way up. Either way works fine. We'll turn on this compressor. We don't have to do multi-band, but makes it a little buzzier. But so now that we are here, we've basically got the sound. May not be exactly how we started, but this is essentially it. And so we'll just start playing around with it. We can also we're going to use this sync mode. And let's get a melody going. So we've got this basic drum pattern. Now I'm going to highlight this area on the Serum track. Control-Shift-M will insert a MIDI clip. And now we already have it selected for F minor. I am in Ableton 12, so we've got it selected up here for the whole project. And we're going to start writing something. So we're in F minor. And we'll just start filling in some notes. This is typically how I do it. I understand basic music theory, but having the scale thing, it really helps. And you just start drawing some stuff in, see what sounds good. So we'll try something like this. And maybe pull that back so it hits that kick. Drag that out maybe. Maybe we'll change that kick around a little bit so that it fits our pattern. Okay, I'm hearing something in my head. Ooh, I like the double kick. It kind of skipped as I was moving it. And we'll put one down here just so it hits that first. We'll double time this. We'll do it. And then we can highlight that whole area and Control J or Command J, I think, if you're on Mac. So now that little extra hit is in the MIDI. Go up maybe. Yeah, I like that. So from here we can duplicate that, set this a little longer, and then I'll usually do something like take out this last beat right here, something like that, and that'll give us some separation between the two. Now we can duplicate this track, delete that, and now we have room to, which we could automate this, but something I do is start a new track every time I drastically change a noise, even if it's from the same patch. It just makes it easier for later on in the project when I want to EQ things or clean stuff up. Thankfully, I have a computer nice enough to handle that, but if you don't, then you could totally just automate things within a single track. But just to keep things separate visually as well, then we're going to duplicate them, and then it's as simple as turning something like we're right here, and then we can turn this wavetable, just turn it all the way up. And now we've got a whole new sound. Similar tone, same notes and everything, but you just get this dirty switch. So and so from here, I might do something like duplicate this patch again, and then we can just take a little clip of it, and we'll put something on this snare maybe, and we'll stop using the sustain for this. So we'll get rid of that point. That's what it sounds like. It still has that loop back point, so we're going to change it to trigger, and that loop back point won't be there anymore. All right, and now we'll try and use this sync mode, see if that can't get us somewhere. Let's see what that sounds like. It's a little loud for sure. Take it down some, and maybe we'll use that same patch here. And just to show, like I was saying earlier, how you can automate within the patch. If you don't want to start a new track, we'll open this up, this tab, and then we'll click configure, and then we can click on this sync mode right here. That, and now and then we have to turn off the keyboard play, and then click A, and now we can automate. So it's already, since that was the last thing we set, it's already on B warp. And then Something like that. That might be too much, so we'll move this over here. And it might be a little aggressive still. Maybe we'll tighten it up. And then from here, duplicate, delete, delete. And then we can do that same thing, move that warp mode. And so now, instead of this, that, we have very similar, but just a little bit of a different tone. And some EQing and playing around with the mid and sides can definitely help glue it all together. But for the sake of what we're doing here, this sounds great. So now we will just group all of these, and then I have a basic sign down here from Ableton, just a stock Ableton. And so I'll copy this and copy this. I guess that'd be the same thing. I could have just duplicated, but we'll change that color. And now we have sub layer, but this is going to need to come down to 0. We've got, you might need some headphones to hear that, but or speakers, but we'll put a saturator on there. Change it to soft sine, and then we'll go up like 6 on the drive. So now we've got this big, beefy, sort of low mid-range sub. We might need to turn that down. We'll do that on the saturator. It's still clipping a little bit out of the operator, so we'll turn this down as well. That looks a little better. So we have the lows from these serums clashing a little bit, so we'll just go grab a EQ8 and we'll take out the lows. And a great thing about this patch, we can layer really, really well. So I could duplicate this again. We've got that sound, and we will just turn this sync up and find something that is still in key, because the sync mode can put things out of key. All right, and now that we've got something like that, we can layer them. Maybe we'll turn this second one down a little bit. Still a little loud. And we can do the same thing over here. And maybe there's a little bit of too much of the highs coming through or hissing through from that resonance peak. So we'll just pull back on this. It won't be quite as noisy, but we still get a little more depth to it. We'll turn it down as well. So instead of that, we get that. And if it's not noticeable enough, we'll turn it back up. And so you can really start to get some depth to your writing, and it's as simple as following a single melody and layering up based off of one patch. Whenever you do that, you get a lot of the same tones and kind of texture to your sound design, and it just makes a track glue together really well. So, and we could automate more. We could take that sync, and instead of just having another layer not moving around too much, then we could automate this B warp behind it and see what that sounds like. So this is a technique I've used in a lot of my flips and original music. It does take some playing around with to make sure you don't get out of key, but it can be really, really interesting for making some morphing bass sounds. Yeah, so definitely not a perfect idea and not perfectly leveled or anything, but I just wanted to show off how you can really get something going with some interesting concepts based off of a single Serum patch. Now that patch that we just recreated and showed at the beginning, it is available on my Patreon. So it's available in the shop for $40, but as you can see, if you're a member, then you can download these packs for free. I've got some demos on using these percussion packs that I made, and then the secret Serum sauce. Now it's normally $40, but it is included in the $20 membership. So starts off with unreleased music, then you get tutorials and some samples and presets, but once you join here, then you get a download for Secret Serum Sauce Volume 1 that sound is included with, along with 44 other sounds. They all come with 4 macros and can definitely kick off some ideas and or fill in the gaps for projects you're already working on. You can also get project files and stems, submit songs for feedback, and then one person a month can pay $150 to tell me a song to flip, and I'll flip it. But yeah, this is my first YouTube video, so I'm very, very excited to be doing this, and hope that you learned something, and I hope you like and subscribe, and I hope you go join the Patreon, and I hope we can have some fun together. So appreciate you guys. Peace.